Electricast. Last week on Ghost Hampton, Lyle knew Flo and Silk were going to eat him alive, and they do. Both women grill Lyle on his interest, if any, in 12-year-olds. They ask about the injury to his legs. Did meeting Jewel return life to them? Can Lyle have sex? Lyle only admits that pure evil resides in Old Vic. It tried to possess him. Mateo saved him. Silk announces they'll return to Old Vic.
Lyle's interview was a hit on Entertainment Tonight, and the show's host encouraged the viewership to tune in tomorrow for more. Meantime, Chilton Gregg, back in Connecticut, has informed Silk he's been fielding calls from all kinds of media for additional interviews, including newspapers and even People magazine. Silk is on her way to stardom, he says, implying that it's primarily his doing. 2 a.m. The Fearcom crew, Silk, Flo, Josh, and Chad, are now on site. It's quite dark. There's no moon. The Fearcom van is parked out of view on the block behind Old Vic. Josh has a neat digital video camera ready for nighttime recording. He also wears a GoPro camera clipped to his baseball cap. Chad's job is to record Silk and capture any extraneous audio on the professional tape recorder. Flo and Silk have locked arms with their unwilling quarry, Lyle Hall, making the affection-starved man less unwilling. They approach the rear of the decrepit structure via the overgrown backyard.
Creepy.
Shh! Chad, police are stationed out front.
Lyle, you went in the back door last night?
Shit, look. The police have the door barred.
The kitchen entrance has a police barricade erected around it, including zigzagging yellow police tape. The police presence, including Big Frank's presence, has dispersed the campers for now. The Fearcom group stops and stands in the weeds.
Now what?
Flo looks around. She gets a strange emanation from the old barn next door. Very strange, even for Flo.
Silk, let's enter the barn. Shoot there. We should cover a building that's even older than Old Vic.
It's not barricaded. Maybe the cops figure no one is interested.
We promised the audience Old Vic.
Old is old. The audience won't know the difference.
Silk, there's something there.
Let it stay there.
I'm serious.
Okay, we'll give it a shot. Something is better than nothing.
At least we'll be trespassing.
The group tries to move quietly toward the rear of the barn, which also faces the street out front. The scrubby weeds are studded with odd discarded items from long ago. Lyle almost trips over a beer bottle. The rusty handlebar of an ancient tricycle grabs at Flo's leg. Between Old Vic and the barn, they all see the town's backhoe parked with its huge shovel poised in air threateningly. There's a cop car down the road under a street lamp. They stop at the rickety barn door.
Chad, you're the big boy. Get this open.
Chad grabs the door. It has a rusted padlock. Its hinge no longer attached to the dried-out wood. The door creaks open.
Quietly, Chad. Quietly.
They all file into the barn. Josh first, cameras recording. Chad last, after closing the door behind them. Sealed in, the rickety walls seem to close in. Ancient dread hangs in the musty, unbreathed air. Even the floor smells of something awful. Flo is struck immediately by a sense of despair so profound it makes her knees weak. She notes how out of it Lyle is now. Josh is busy. His camera light spots an appropriate backdrop, a dense tunnel-shaped spiderweb, off-white and the size of a tablecloth running along the side wall. Crouched in the tunnel is a black hairy thing the size of a large man's fist and all elbows.
Silk, how's this?
Silk pauses just a moment, then sees its value. Wearing a motorcycle jacket and skirt outfit, and lit by Josh's camera, she looks eerie as hell standing in front of the huge web.
Don't let that thing jump me while I'm delivering.
Don't let that thing jump Silk. Let's try your intro and see what we've got. I'll record. And everyone stop moving! Your feet are making crunchy sounds on the floor. Rolling.
All of Bridgehampton, Long Island is enthralled by the mysterious goings-on in this place. And now, all the country is.
Lyle has shaken off his doldrums. As Silk does her run-through, he takes out his phone, activating its flashlight. Josh stops that shoot.
Hey, no random flashlights. This is Silk's shoot. And who the hell is hissing?
But Lyle is paying no attention. His jittery light is pointed at something on the floor. He can't take his eyes off it. It's alive and big and mangy and hissing at him. Flo sees it too. Then everyone does.
Shit, what the fuck is that?
It's a huge possum, its beady eyes pink in Lyle's light, its pointy teeth projecting from a snarling snout.
Josh, shoot that thing!
Josh swings his camera in its direction, adding illumination. It looks angry and unpredictable, with short legs that seem capable of carrying it in any direction at primeval speed.
Trying to?
With a screech, the animal suddenly darts toward the group. Silk jumps back. Flo screams. Then it veers off and squeezes itself between two rickety wallboards right beneath the big spider web, its hairless tail dragging behind.
Jeez, those things bite?
In your case, yes.
Josh gives Lyle a cold stare for a second as the others try to steady themselves. Josh returns his attention to Silk. He squares himself off and again frames the star in his lens. But now Flo is distracted by movement above their heads. A quiet rustling. Quiet, but a lot of it.
Okay, everyone. We'll try this again and we'll make it quick. I'll invite Flo to join me on camera. And then you. You'll be ready, right, Lyle?
Lyle gazes back at Silk, his obscure object of desire.
Sure. What else could go wrong?
But now Lyle feels the influence of something beyond Silk, ominous and hateful. Josh, grumbling, resumes shooting Silk's intro, basically a rehash of the past few days' occurrences. Then Flo, seeming stiff now, joins her on camera. On the barn wall backdrop, Josh's camera picks up how the big spider is growing fidgety, working its hairy, jointed legs. Josh does not trouble Silk with this. Silk, facing the camera and Lyle, suddenly realizes Lyle cannot wear the same dumb pink sweatsuit. It will look like they shot their series in just one day.
Lyle, you have to take off that awful sweatshirt. The first shoot was bad enough.
Oh shit, here we go again. Does he have anything else to wear?
Lyle is not concerned with wardrobe. Being in this old barn is not at all like connecting with Jewel outside her front door. This, he realizes, is different. Something horrifying happened right inside this barn. Children, babies, blood, screams. He can hear them. And it's recurring, still happening even now. He cannot pay attention to Silk's reporter business. Something here is paying attention to him. Lyle feels on some level he already knows this thing, and it knows him. It seems to enjoy pulsing through his bloodstream, the warmth of it, and the ease of inflicting pain. Suddenly, all of Lyle's nerves start pulsing erratically, like they've taken control of him. Hearing once more the disembodied wails of Old Vic's women is even more terrifying here and now. Lyle cannot see them. Instead, he sees a large old kitchen knife slashing through the air. The screaming stops and the knife reappears, dripping with blood. Flo knows Lyle is experiencing something deeply troubling and steps toward him. Taking his shaky hand, her eyes close, and she gets glimpses of the same scene, a savage stabbing long ago.
Are you okay? Lyle, come back now. That's enough. Come back.
Lyle, get with it. We're working here. Chad, get that sweatshirt off him.
Chad places his audio equipment on the barn floor and notices it's covered in a thick, crunchy layer of bird shit. Undressing a wobbly, catatonic Lyle is clumsy business. Trying to be respectful, Chad grips the bottom hem of the Gurney's Inn sweatshirt and draws it up. Lyle passively raises his arm so the pink garment can depart. That's when Flo sees it, and Josh's camera sees it, and Silk drops her jaw. Lyle's exposed chest is a map of agony. It's made of scars.
Oh, jeez! What the hell?
Good Lord! Lyle!
Josh, you getting this?
Like a science fiction subway map.
Chad works the sweatshirt over Lyle's head, mussing his hair as he does so. Lit by Josh's harsh camera light, Lyle's torso is a jigsaw puzzle of flesh sewn together by some modern Dr. Frankenstein. The camera light accentuates the gouges, misshapen lumps of skin, and tracks of stitches. Thankfully, Lyle wore a white polo shirt underneath. It is now bunched up around his shoulders, and Flo steps over, all caring empathy, and gently lowers the shirt tails back down. The white cotton passes over every wound left by his emergency surgery a year ago. Most shocking is the zipper scar, wide and straight, tracking down his solar plexus to his belt. Additional scars, deep and purple, form cringe-inducing curves across his chest and down to disposable organs like the spleen. One area of flesh was repaired with a patch of skin harvested from elsewhere. It sports body hairs sprouting in the wrong direction. Flo is overwhelmed with compassion for the man and his obvious ordeal. She whispers so only Lyle can hear.
Oh, Lyle, I'm so very sorry for what you've been through.
Lyle's head is still facing upward after the sweatshirt removal. Flo notes some dark black shadow in his ear. She understands he's in another place, a bad place. But she's concerned Silk could fire her summarily for coddling the guest star. Something annoying is sprinkled into Lyle's eyes. He absently raises a hand to rub his eyes. That's when he sees them, and Lyle snaps back into the present. Bats, lots of them, maybe hundreds, are roosting overhead, hanging from the beams about 12 feet above the floor. One bat flinches. It takes flight, and Silk squeals as it flits around the barn's interior. The rest of the group is stunned, just watching the creepy thing fly. Then the air above seems to come alive with flapping leathery wings. Everywhere.
Silk, get the hell out of here. Chad, grab the damn audio gear. Now!
Flo grabs Lyle's pus in both hands.
Lyle, are you okay? We have to get out. Now! Can you run?
Not exactly.
Chad gets the door open and he, Silk, and Josh hustle out. The rickety door, with a mind of its own, slams shut in front of Flo and Lyle, who were helping each other out. The slam must have engaged a latch outside, securing the door. Flo cries out and shakes the old door handles as bats, big ones and small, swarm around her and Lyle. She feels little mouths and tiny tongues explore her face, nibbling. Little claws pull at her hair and hook into her sweater. Flo battles to maintain her composure. She loses the battle and screams as she pounds on the inside of the door.
These damn things bite?
Oh, Lyle, help me!
All Lyle can think to do is ram his shoulder into the door. The door doesn't open. Instead, its dry slats splinter apart, and Lyle stumbles out into the scrubby yard. He gasps one breath of crisp night air when something he'd never, ever imagined comes at him. Flo, running and screaming and batting the air around her head while leading a squadron of pissed-off bats. The bats pass her swiftly and fill the sky above. All but one. It's tangled in Flo's hair. She continues screaming. Lyle takes Flo in his arms and lowers her to sit on a truck tire abandoned in the weeds by the rusty tricycle. The crazed bat, all leathery wings and claws and squirming, is very involved in what Lyle thinks of as Flo's Lady Bird Johnson hairdo. This is unknown territory to him. What to do?
Lyle, do something! It's horrid! I think it peed in my hair!
Do these things bite?
Yes! If they're caught in your hair!
Lyle spots something just inside the barn's destroyed doorway. His pink sweatshirt where Chad dropped it.
Wait here, Flo.
Where am I going to go? And where are you going?
Lyle grabs his sweatshirt and hustles back to Flo. She eyes it warily.
Dunno, but it's either this or that tricycle.
Lyle puts the sweatshirt over Flo's hair like a turban, and it starts to move on its own. Using the pink cotton as a buffer, he tries to rake the bat out of her hair with his fingertips. Lyle can feel the bat struggle, fighting, biting everything. His hands, Flo's hair. Then suddenly, it's free, sweatshirt and all. Flo lets out a final screech as Lyle flings the sweatshirt across the yard. Before it hits the weeds, the bat emerges and takes flight into the night sky. Lyle looks down at Flo, who is breathing hard and trying to fix her hopeless hair.
That was extraordinary.
My hairdo is nothing like Lady Bird Johnson's.
Not anymore. So, this is the thanks I get?
How about Jackie Onassis?
Okay, Jackie O it is.
Fine.
And the thanks I get?
Well, it's too late for a drink.
Nah. I got friends in low places. A few blocks away, as the bat flies.
Flo looks at Lyle untrustingly, but offers her hand, and he helps her up. He looks past the grubby backyard at the street behind Old Vic, where the Fear-Com van was parked. Flo looks too. The van's there, but now the tree branches above it are lit with the flashing red and blue lights of many cop cars.
Let's go this way.
Lyle takes Flo by the elbow and leads her to the front of Old Vic, away from the police activity. He knows Big Frank, Georgie's secret boyfriend, is on duty tonight.
I should contact Silk.
Later. We have people to see first. Ever been to an old man's bar?
Stumbling through the weeds, they pass the town's big backhoe and make it out to the street. All is calm.
No. Are there old men there?
Yep. Right up your alley. Oh, and you're buying.
I can't hardly wait.
Lyle and Flo sit at the corner of the sticky bar on wobbly swivel stools with sunken red Naugahyde upholstery. Their backs are to the door. At this late hour, the bar is a musty, dark, unpopulated expanse. Down at the far end are perched a bona fide old man and Gertie, the weeknight bartender. Above them, a wall-mounted TV shows an episode of Matlock. Both of them are smoking cigarettes. That's against town ordinance. There's even a sign posted attesting to that. But there were no other customers until now. Gertie makes Lyle and gives him a hard stare. She takes a deep drag, puts out her butt in a beanbag ashtray, and moves toward the unusual pair.
Of all the gin joints in all the world,
You're open, right?
this is last call.
Lyle sees the value in curt, abrupt phrases in this instance.
Doers. Rocks.
Cabernet Sauvignon, with ice, please. Scotch and white wine.
Exactly.
Lyle watches Gertie go about her business. She's the same Gertie who pours coffee to go on the early shift at the local Greasy Spoon. She places Lyle's attempted $1 tip on his coffee lid when he stops in. Maybe she reports there directly after closing Hardy's. That could explain grumpiness, but her distaste for Lyle Hall runs deeper. Gertie is thin, not the healthy kind of thin, and her mouth comprises a network of tiny wrinkles. Her hair is an array of abandoned attempts at triage. The tips are, or were, blonde. Beneath that is a confusion of dark hair fighting grey hair. She squirts wine from the bladder in a box that matter-of-factly reads white and returns to them with their drinks.
It's on her.
Not surprised.
Gertie turns abruptly and rejoins her old friend under the Matlock rerun. Flo eyes her drink suspiciously.
What is this exactly?
White wine. Can't you read?
Flo tries it. The glass itself is a thick, unwelcoming goblet. Over its rim, she notes the eyes of Gertie are upon them. Lyle watches Flo.
Good, huh?
It's inoffensive.
Lyle forces a glass clink for camaraderie. They each take a swallow.
Thanks for a unique evening.
All in a day's work.
Now, can we talk about how betrayed I feel by you and how pissed off I am?
No, we can't. Man up, Lyle. It's TV. Silk is making you a star. A big change from the most resented man in Bridgehampton.
You know about that?
I had to vet you. Before all your ghost girl brouhaha, there were many articles about you.
Moles Allen.
Mostly. The point is, they were not good. They uniformly depict you as not good.
No such thing as bad ink.
Rethink that cliche, Lyle. A celebrity with a bad boy background, yes. A bad boy who remains consistently bad, not so much.
Why are you so pissed at me? You could still have a bat in your hair.
Why? Because I know you. The one in the press reports and the one in the near-death experience, who, I believe, survived as a better man.
You think?
I think you need to use your newfound power to help other people. Simple, right? I observed you almost die in your SUV. I watched you wake up in a hospital bed, despised by even the nurse checking your vitals.
People are convinced I caused Elsie Cronk's death, and that I was drunk.
But you were merely on your way to get drunk.
Right. Huge
difference.
They both chuckle and sip their drinks. Lyle finishes his.
So, what do you want, Flo?
Hi, it's me, Flo. Remember me from Ghost Hampton, the podcast? I was secretly in love with Lyle Hall. Well, now I'm dead and loving it. But let's talk about you. If you loved listening to Ghost Hampton, you can now spend the summer in the Hamptons. The original episodes are back, and now new episodes will be dropping every Friday. I may drop in too, just to make Lyle feel guilty. Ghost Hampton, the podcast, is now streaming everywhere.